Those of you who live in small towns, what is the current local controversy all about? A woman known as a pretty awful person disappeared. Everyone knows it was probably her husband, but the family owns over 10,000 acres and no body has been found. The rest of her family is ramping up an awareness campaign, so it should be interesting to see where this all goes. A couple promised a lot of cakes and fancy breads to the local festival, and didn't deliver. Everyone is mad at them for the last 2 weeks. Town of about 1,800. The girls' volleyball coach got a DWI. The school's principal went to pick her up from jail, and was arrested for DWI himself. Somehow it got out that these two, both married, were having an affair. 2 places make dill dip. One accused the other of stealing the recipe. If the local horse dentist is actually a licensed horse dentist. People here in my town of 396 still upset that the local Christmas tree was taken down and thrown away with all the lights still on it. My country is the size of a small town. One problem at the moment is that we have these things called roundels. They are kinda like roundabouts, but no one has right of way and there's no lanes. You just drive wherever you want, and people are getting super angry about it even though nothing's bad happened since they opened them. The woman who just got elected mayor owns most of the property downtown, and all the open seats on city council went to her employees. Can't wait to see the corruption in action. Small town with 3,000 inhabitants. Everyone knows each other, everyone knows where everyone works, who's related to whom, and so on. Still, my cousin doesn't know who is the father of her child. Swans in the local rivers, lakes have been dying from avian flu, and we've all been warned to keep our dogs away from sick or dead swans in case infection spreads to humans. A lady who has lived in the neighborhood forever has started losing her mind and is stealing lawn ornaments, pots, plants, etc. from everyone else's yard. The police refuse to arrest her because the situation is sad. So every few months the police host a "Get Back Your Shit" event and we just collect our things from her yard. It is surreal, but I wish her the best. The city I live in, around 10,000 residents or so, doesn't allow food trucks to operate outside of things like festivals. There has been a push to change that, and, coincidentally, majority of most vocal people against them are restaurant owners. About 2 years ago, the mayor of the town I live in got caught with drunk driving his lawnmower down Main Street at around 2 a.m. about 6 weeks after being elected. Edit. I can't wrap my head around the fact that my mayor getting drunk and driving a lawnmower would become one of my most upvoted comments, but here we are. They just built a new Verizon in town, but someone started a rumor that it was also going to be a Panera Bread. Someone went as far as to mark it on Google Maps as a Panera, even though the building is clearly a single store with Verizon signage. They're still trying to figure out who is black. The village has 249 people. On the census, everyone reported white except one person who reported biracial or something, and now the demographics show that the town is 0.7% black. Lol, the mayor has a personal feud with this one guy that has an emotional support pig while living in the village. Housing farm animals are illegal within the village. Travel baseball. There is a new organization in town that is absolutely blood-sucking money out of parents of 7 to 12-year-olds and they have no clue. My parents live in a tiny Greek village that has a grand total of 3 families, including my parents, and currently they're trying to rectify the fact that our dog killed our neighbor's chicken. Some lady that owned a large flea market took 100K plus of COVID, Dawn, T fired her employees, money, fired everyone and is now leaving the country all while thinking the town was lucky to have her. A woman found a dog and tried to find the owner for a day or 2. She then took it to a rescue. Owner of dog post looking for dog and she let him know the rescue. Owner calls rescue who now will not return dog due to owner negligence. Woman who found dog is now getting shit on. Sheep. Whether or not to continue allowing a flock of sheep to graze on the town green, with a petting area for lambs. Some think the sheep do a fine job of keeping the grass under control and fertilize. Others want landscaping professionals to do the job. Delilah from the Love Song Request radio show that's been on for like 30 years lives here and has been trying to convince all the downtown business owners to paint their storefronts pastel. It's a real kerfuffle. The eccentric millionaire that owned every building in downtown and used them to house his extensive rock collection died like 15 years ago and they still haven't figured out what to do with all the rocks. My family thought that the term Karen being used on Facebook specifically meant a woman named Karen that works at the gas station near me. I had mentioned her once at home and my mom was like, "Oh, everyone hates her on Facebook right now. They all think she's a snitch." We have a Starbucks trying to open in my hometown, but half the city doesn't want it to happen, saying it'll kill the small businesses around it. Literally being built like 2 doors down from a local coffee shop. The town's up in arms about it. An 81-year-old woman got bit by a bear whilst trying to protect her dog. Surprisingly enough, there isn't one at the moment. In our 3K pop town, everyone has come together recently because one of our local homeless veterans lost his pet cat. The entire town has banded together to try and find her, and even hated enemies are planning out search parties together. I was back in my old small hometown over Christmas. The local newspaper carried the headline, "Woman abused in local park." I was initially shocked that such a thing could happen in my safe town, until I read the detail that a woman had asked some teenagers if they were really old enough to be drinking those beers, and they told her to bugger off. Front page, lead headline. Local McDonald's wants to build a drive-thru. Some people are dead against it, but others think it's long overdue as the McDonald's is always crowded. The people against believe it'd ruin the character of the area. I'm not sure where I stand. 3 kids stole shit from the local shop, weren't even wearing COVID masks, so we have perfect pictures of them. My city is allegedly the most illuminated and secure of the province, more than 14,000 street lights, but apparently there's only one security camera system and it rotates all around the city. Besides, they're making tunnels along the train stations and when it rains it gets totally flooded. My small hometown is currently upset because the Amish don't pick up their horse crap as they drive down Main Street in their horse and buggy. Someone changed the local Facebook page from Small Town Community Page to Small Town Anti-Vaxxer Group. The ensuing debates and confusion as to how the page moderators had their accounts hacked and who was behind it. I shit you not, the current chief suspect is the moderator of the rival small-town community Facebook group. Lockdown has given some people too much time on their hands. The wall wants to increase rates by $2 per month, but can't articulate what it is they do, and all the stuff we thought they did is actually done by the city. So people care on principle and are attending meetings for their $24 bucks a year. My dad's stepkids are being sexually assaulted by their biological father. The father is BFFs with the corrupt sheriff of the town, so the police won't do anything about it. Now my dad is running for sheriff so that he can get the father arrested. Population of 1,000 here. Some of the power got knocked out BC of a raccoon doing some dumb shit on a power line. Yards were dug up 2 years ago to lay to the house fiber in preparation for fiber being dug down along the road. Still no fiber along the road. Edit. Holy crap, this blew up. Guys, stop. I can't download all these replies until I get fiber. Y'all have like decent answers, and in my small ass UK village it is legit just this person being villager of the year for the 7th year in a row. Well, we're still talking about the police raid made this summer that found 90 kilograms, yes 90 goddamn kilos, of unspecified drugs. It was amphetamine. And also that this year's Christmas tree was ugly on the side towards the pizzeria. We are about 1,100 people living here asterisk Coretian. It turns out it was mostly cannabis. Sorry about that. I live 2 doors down from a pedophile who has been lying about his age on Snapchat to get nudes from middle schoolers. The guy is 22. People just recently started figuring it out after someone's older sister who was the same age as him posted it all over Snapchat leaking his fake account. It's really messed up. Everyone who knows him is praying he gets a conviction for it. Not currently, but a few years ago this was all the rage. There was a peanut butter bandit plaguing my town. They would break into cars, houses, random buildings. They wouldn't take anything. They would just leave an open peanut butter jar. Very ominous. The school security guard who groomed a 14-year-old into running away with him, and then held her captive for 10 years at his parents' house, while still being my 4th grade school security guard, is being released from prison next month after serving a 15-year sentence. Edit. Anyone interested in the story, Google Tom Ho's Mickey Sport. There's also an Amazon Prime Video documentary, holding PG&E responsible for burning down half the county last summer. In my town there was an empty building that is being built into a bar and nightclub. Across the street is a church, and the church is pissed and trying to stir up everyone by protesting a bar so close to their church building. My own little controversy. 250 people in my town. Been here for almost 5 years. I am pissed that a lot of people still refer to it as Toby's place. My name ISN, T. Toby. Here, catalytic converters are being stolen all over town, and it's been going on for over a year. Extremely small town. Last mayor had multiple duets and started an affair with a city clerk whose husband committed suicide shortly after, and it's never spoken of. County judge race. The incumbent is a certified idiot. All the new infrastructure is centered on sports. No renovations for the library. No place where we could have decent stage for shows and theater. No nature park. Only skating rinks and baseball and tennis courts. Our local brewery has begun regularly hosting a drag show, and the locals are going ballistic. A duct cleaning service accidentally used a stock photo of a basement on fire to advertise HVAC cleaning. Hilarity ensued. House prices are incredible high in our semi-backwater city. I'm talking about a 2-bedroom apartment and having to pay a 450,000 euros mortgage. In our country you need to have 2 full-time upper-middle-class jobs to be able to finance a mortgage like that. The town is divided over whether we should allow the local nuclear plant to dig a big hole and bury waste. Should the town allow 4 bow hunters to take out some of the deer, I believe 20, in town, because they are overpopulated and causing traffic and other issues in town. Someone let off some fireworks at 11 p.m. last night. The entire village is expressing displeasure on the Facebook page. Also, someone parked in front of someone else's driveway. Our bridge was on the verge of collapsing the other day, and if it's not open tomorrow I'm not going to be able to get to work. That there were too many leaves on a random footpath and an elderly person might fall on them. Apparently the council should do something at once, as it's unacceptable. Our mayor is not allowing the sale of marijuana in town even though it's allowed in the state. People voted for it to be legal as well, and the mayor just said, the people need to reevaluate their voting stance on this and are not thinking straight. My high school's football team hazed a freshman by raping them with a broomstick. A few years ago on a trip to Scotland, my wife and I stayed in a small town in the Orkney Islands called St. Margaret's Hope. There were wanted posters all over town asking for information about someone who wasn't cleaning up after their dog. Our local utility is finally going to start fluoridating our water, and all the old farts and Karens are out protesting on Nextdoor and Facebook. And we're like, WTF, we haven't been fluoridating this whole time? What year is this? Local naval air station poisoned our water supply for decades. Herd of buffalo, stolen from a rented farm one night and deposited back on the owner's personal land the next day. Cue Facebook crapfest and all the pointy judgy fingers. What's going to happen to the vacant bank site? Someone mentioned opening up a yoga studio. People are losing their minds because yoga is not Christian and of another religion. My tiny little hometown had a power outage because of Bobcat taking a nap on a transformer. Well, one of the town's uppity up people, meaning they own a lot of businesses and properties, shot and killed a mechanic at one of the shops they own. Rumor has it, the uppity up person was having an affair with the mechanic's wife. Uppity up person has yet to be arrested and more than likely will get away with this murder and this is the 3rd person this man has supposedly killed. We recently had a murderer who was released from prison move onto a lot outside of town. Normally this would be a drama storm all by itself, but this guy apparently found religion behind bars. He's a practicing Wiccan. We're deep in the Bible Belt. Countless pearls have been clutched. One guy keeps setting his truck on fire to keep people from stealing it. That synagogue hostage situation yesterday. Just recently passed a bill to allow a pot store. It passed with only one vote even after a recount. Safe enough to say the boomers are going crazy saying how much crime it will bring in despite the above average meth usage in town. Also, this was a vote to allow. There isn't any current plans to open a dispensary yet. A runaway wallaby from a local petting farm has been on the run for 2 weeks, making national news. Context: this is in a tiny village in the UK. Whether or not to kill the deer or give them birth control. City Council wants to put in a busy and dollar traffic circle at the only major intersection in town to reduce the fatality accidents. Only problem is there have been no fatality accidents at the intersection. We are trying to figure out who keeps leaving unicorns everywhere in strange places, sculptures, spray paint stencil, other art mediums. I think they're funny, but the older people in town are in an outrage. XD. New housing development going in. Been on the books for years, but people are just now losing their shit because some trees actually need to be removed. The only gas station in town was sold to an Indian couple. Now we can't buy our beer and smokes from white people. It's a big deal. Someone stole a tree a few weeks ago before the holidays. Just went and chopped a random tree in town. Smallest of small towns. Less than 30 people. New snow plow service. Plowed little gravel lanes like boulevards, so everyone has 8 feet of grass plowed, except for those with enough junk along the street. They were safe. No frills versus Foodland in small town Ontario. We just got a no frills, and a lot of the older folk are pissed at the Foodland slander. It's divided friendships over this. The community Facebook page is roaring. The town will never be the same. Local big shot restaurateurs are accused of roofing girls in after-hours parties. Oh, and the DOS office lawyers hang out at those places and drink. Town of about 1,000. Somebody keeps leaving plugged-in power tools at our town's playground. Have had a staple gun, drill and a reciprocating saw left behind so far. It's a fun continuation from the year before when somebody was leaving steak knives on the picnic tables. Somebody left 10 corpses inside a car under the big Xmas tree that was in the major plaza. The local raccoon lady has been stealing pizza again. Apparently the girl with blue hair who has worked at our Walmart for years just got caught robbing an ambulance. Edit. Oh, and we're about to get our first 5G tower and some folks keep calling our school district to complain for some reason.